Hello.
Hi there.
I didn't know I get two beautiful ladies.
Two for the price of one.
Double trouble.
Yes. And we just record the whole thing, by the way. We'll edit it down. So we're already recording. Thank you so much for meeting up with us, Mona.
Listen, I'm so happy to be here. I always love to talk about my work and the fabulous actresses I worked with. And, Drew is one of the top favorites. So anytime.
That's awesome. You've been on our guest wish list since we started a year ago. So this is really, really special and cool for us.
Tell me how this came about. It's so interesting.
Okay. About how our podcast came about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll give you the Cliff's Notes. So Ashley and I have been friends since about 1999, and we met on a Drew Barrymore message board.
Oh,
as teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've stayed friends. We became friends in real life after being friends on the internet for a few years.
Are you from the same town or the same town or different towns? Or
originally we're both from California, but when we met, we weren't in the same place. And now I'm living on the East Coast and Ashley lives on the West Coast. So we're continuing our friendship and fandom from a distance.
Yes.
And then how did you decide on the podcast, or how did it all came about?
We have had a website called The Drewseum since 2006. And we've met Drew many times, and we were like, what is the obvious progression of our knowledge and our interest? And because we kept up with this website, we talked about it for years, honestly, before we did it.
Yeah, of course. It was like, we should do a podcast. We should do a podcast.
And now we're almost a year in and still kicking. So I think we're having a lot of fun with it. So
do you ever interact with Drew, or is she?
It's been a while. We actually we're trying to get it confirmed, but I'm sure you know Chris Miller from working on Santa Clarita Diet.
Yes.
Yeah. So Chris said he totally wants to come on the podcast, but he just wants to clear it with Drew first. So we're like in this limbo right now. We're like, okay, like she likes us. So hopefully she says yes.
Yeah. Like she knows who we are. Any interaction we've had has been totally lovely.
The best, of course.
So we're just hoping like one day when we're ready that she'll also be ready to be on our podcast.
That would be amazing. My God, Drew on your podcast. Wow.
Yeah.
That's like the goal. But we're having so much fun talking to you. Like, this is awesome. This is like, we're very excited about this.
We're thrilled.
Well, Chris would be good too, because he's very close to her and for many years.
And, And we actually Anne met Chris when he was just her assistant.
Yeah,
very newly too.
Yes. When was that? Just before, what year was it? Right before they did the...
I met him in 2001, and he was still her assistant then, but he was kind of like climbing up shortly after that. Like it seemed like he was doing a lot more. Within a couple of years, the first time I met him, he was like, seems like he was acting as her publicist and all this other stuff. And then he just blew up, and now he's
go-to man for all the things.
He pretty much runs her company.
Yes.
He's a really smart guy and has like a big vision, and she's in so many places. So he really is like, the glue to everything. It's pretty amazing.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, we love him. He's always been so welcoming and awesome to us. And we're like, okay, Chris, let's do this.
Yeah. He, along with other assistants of hers, have facilitated many lovely experiences for us with her. So we're really, really lucky.
There we are.
What's your favorite movie of hers? You don't have to say anything.
You'd think that would be such an easy question, and mine is kind of cheating because it's not really something I think of just as a Drew movie, because my favorite movie is Scream. So it's like she's only in it a little bit, right? So it's not like I love it just for her, but that's my favorite movie. And I guess Anne's is a little bit sort of the same, right?
One of my favorites is Donnie Darko, and like she also has a small role in that. But we also both really love like Mad Love from the 90s, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was cool. Really interesting. Yeah.
The Wedding Singer is like the movie that started me just falling in love with her. So like this is extra special because that's kind of where you started with her too. So
I with her too. Yeah, I love that movie. I really do. Yeah, I mean, Never Been Kissed is maybe more closer to my heart, just because what a journey she had. What a journey that I got really create with her in that film, and that was really something special. I use that film a lot when I teach.
Oh, that makes sense.
so many different transformations as a character and who she is, who she becomes, and I really love that. I mean, done so many, female driven comedies, and it's really, I think I get extremely happy and I think fulfilled when I get to tell the story. I mean, like Enchanted, when a girl is going through something and then finds herself, through the process, empowers herself, and in the end is like, I know who I am. That's really, and I think Drew is really champion of that too. I think, Never Been Kissed was one of her first movies that she produced for Flower Films. And I think, a lot of the films that she's been or, produces, I think have to do with that too. I think she's a champion of women.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why we've connected too, over the years and so many years, because we talk about it and it's important, how girls feel and who she is. She's really kind of exemplifies that as a person, to be yourself. You don't have to be size 0. You don't have to be this. You can be yourself. You can show yourself without makeup. I mean,
you understand why we love her then.
Yeah, right.
I love her too. I mean, my God, it's a love kind of fest forever. And I think that, her show is so popular too, because it's so kind of emotional and intense in a way, where you can really relate to her getting into the people. I mean, I love it. It's so funny when they say, oh, she gets on her knees, and I'm like, I don't know her. I mean,
it feels like her.
When we are in the fitting room, she's on the floor. My dog is there. Her dogs are there, and everybody's there, and we're talking and touching everything. And I mean, she's really one of the very few actresses, I have to say, that it's really in the process. When we got, I can't even believe it. I think it must have Never Been Kissed. We went to Lawman's. Do you remember Lawman's in LA? That was
a department store.
Sorry.
Is it a department store?
It was like a department store where they brought stuff from other store, like designer things, kind of like very high-end Marshalls or something.
Okay.
Yes. And I mean, in a day, it was like in Beverly Center, and in a day, me and Drew went shopping together. And I mean, they were like communal fitting rooms. This is before cell phones.
Yeah.
This is the person she is. She'll get in there. She will want to be part of the process. Costume designing is such a very personal, intimate, I think, process.
Yeah.
Being with the actor, trying the clothes on, how does it feel? How do you create this character? And she's every step with me as a designer, probably any designer that she works with. And that's really kind of cool. A lot of people have their own personal issues and, they want to wear on the designer. And she really, I mean, and that's what Never Been Kissed. I think it's so beautiful because she just did whatever it took, wearing the white crazy boa.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the beginning, the culottes, I mean, all of that is just
she's not afraid. She's not afraid to like do what she needs to do for the character. Yeah, she always says like, it's like once you're embodying it, like that costume is part of the embodiment of the character. So she's like embodying it.
It informs everything, and informs, I think, for actors who they are, which is really, it tells the story. I mean, I always say this to my students: when you look at the frame, when the actor comes out, within seconds, who they are before they even open their mouths and say the dialogue. You really know by the clothes they wear who they are, what emotional state they are in, and that's what Drew is very good too, kind of the emotional states of the character and if the clothes have to be baggy at this moment or tight, or what color we're using. I mean, I love the dress I designed for her at the end of Never Been Kissed, because it was such a special moment.
Yeah.
Chiffon, it had the frill, little neckline, low neckline. It was very grown up. She finally became a woman.
Yeah.
She's ready for love. So it was such a special, I think, look for her. And it kind of summarized all of that she's gone through the film, and in the end became herself and
absolutely.
So it's those are kind of those moments, I think, moments for costume designer to have with actors that are really, you never forget it. You really, those are truly the gems.
Yes.
And Drew's been like that. I think our relationship, as tumultuous as we all have, we love each other, we hate each other. Sometimes she's angry at me, I'm angry at her. And why are you making me wear this? Or I don't want another thing. I work so many hours. But it's I think we understand each other. So when she was doing Santa Clarita Diet, it was so beautiful that she was able to bring me back.
Yes.
Someone that knows her very well, someone that, she was coming back from having the kids. It was kind of back into the industry. I think it was very kind of telling. And I was very happy that she brought me back because she trusted me. She felt comfortable with me. She knew that I'll have her best interest. I'll look out for her. I'll be there for her every step.
Yeah.
So, and that was such a crazy show. I mean, it was so unpredictable. And I mean, we never knew what's going to happen in the next script and how many people she's going to eat or kill. Multiples and bloody things I'm going to have on her, But it was a really fun journey. We did 3 seasons of that.
Yep.
Show.
I love that.
It's a really fun show. Me too.
Wish we had
really
more.
I know.
And it was so fun again. That was such a great example of kind of her finding herself, like really empowered by eating the human flesh and getting strong from it and knowing what she wants. And, really in her costumes, we showed that too, from the beginning. We had like maybe very cheap Calvin Klein suit from Macy's, when she was the real estate girl, to like, Alexander McQueen suits, $2,000 suits with the
that just make her look that much more fabulous.
Yeah, comfortable in her skin.
Yeah, the Louboutin boots and all the best and all the fun stuff. And there was a really great journey in I think in that show. And she was very involved. I mean, she was producing it. She was involved in the script. She was involved in casting. And that's what I admire about her, because I think she really grown up, and really was able to use her intelligence and smarts and kind of, take it to another level. It's not just the acting, it's everything. It's, I'm strong. I can empower women. I mean, she has the eyeglasses, she has the makeup, she has the wine, wine, now is the home cookware,
Yep. It's like everything. She's industry. Just like, how can I bring my own interest in, like you said, her knowledge, like so many of these things, like the makeup. She's like, I've been in the makeup chair since I was a kid. Like, I know so much about makeup. Let's use it. Like,
yeah. But I think it all comes from not kind of like, I'm going to make money. It really comes from a lot of interest and kind of, curious person. It's like, how can I make this better? Or, the cookware, let's make it fun colors. I want to, she loves colors. I do. I think we connect on that way too. And, it's fun. Or the makeup, like, I want to make it easy for girls. I want to make it, accessible. It's at CVS, so that's cool. I think it's not kind of, the snobbish way, and now it's going to be at Neiman Marcus and nobody can afford it. Yep. She's girl's girl. She's every girl's girl.
She's that accessible person. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
We love her.
I love that you said that you connected on color, because I definitely think of you both as such colorful people, and that's great. It definitely
colorful in every way, personalities, fun, and silliness, color, true colors, colorful. But I think we both really love joie de vivre, and kind of take things as they come. And I've been through a lot in my life. She's been probably even more than me, as a young person. So, but we both persevere. We kind of know the business. I came to this country when I was 17 from Europe. I went to school and kind of built my career by myself as well.
Wow.
We didn't have to rely on men in a sense. We kind of were self-started woman, and I think that bonds us too. And I think that's what she also is so helpful to other women, to see that you can be mom, that you can be the actress, and you can be everything, and that's beautiful. I think we need more of those role models, that you can do it, that from ashes you're a sphinx, and you can come back and remake yourself to this. And I mean, I think the culmination, who knows what that is after the TV show, but right now I think the culmination is the TV show, because it's so beautiful, and how she was able to truly bring all of that to so many people, because TV is more than the movies. I think. really are in people's bedrooms.
And she just gets to be her.
Yeah, I was just gonna
it's
say
like
that.
that's the other thing. It's like she talked about kind of like she had to learn how to just be her because she'd been like acting as a character her whole life, and now we get to see, and I feel like what the experience we're having as fans is like, now everyone else is seeing what we see. Like we're a little bit like this. I mean, we're like, yes, like see, now we all know that she's like as relatable and lovey, all of that stuff. We're just like, yeah, she does get on her knees and talk to people when she wants to talk to them closely. Like that's her, like it's not like,
and is that interested. She's that interested. I mean, it's truly genuine, I think. And same when we have meetings, production meetings, she comes in her sweatpants and t-shirts and no makeup whatsoever. I mean, you really think, oh my God, this is the movie star we all know. But she's there because she wants to know what's going on, what are we doing? And
she wants to keep it real too.
Yes, I think that's very much true. Yeah.
But likes to dress up too.
We love that.
Yes, absolutely.
She knows what's cool, and she kind of, she's into the high fashion designers and all of that, but she also knows what works on her. I kind of like what she chose for her show, and it kind of sticks to it. I think it's kind of cool. It's feminine, masculine. I think it's really in, and it's probably easy because it's kind of like a uniform a little bit. So you don't worry about so much of it. What is it going to be? It's just kind of simplifies things.
And the cool thing with that, and you may have noticed this, is like the show's seasons each have like a slightly different like costume theme, almost like her clothing have like
slightly,
where you can almost tell like what season of her show it is based on what her clothes are. Like
last season was suits.
I can't say I see so many of the shows. I travel a lot for work these days to Europe, and her show is not in Europe. But what I've seen, I really enjoy, and I know her stylist very well. He worked for me on this show, and he's quite fabulous. So it's again, it's nice that she has someone that she can trust around. And that's, I think, as a costume designer, that's the number one thing that important when you're working with, with any movie star or any star, any actor. They don't have to be movie stars. It's really finding the trust between each other, so they know that what I'm bringing and my ideas are really kind of, true and come from the expression of what I think the character is, and then, letting them bring what they have to say. Fitting room. So fitting room is really such a fun playground, and I think you may have the script and the ideas, and you do all kinds of research and books and make collages, but not really till you get into the fitting room and you try things on. And sometimes that brown sweater that I put at the end of the rack, like, oh, okay, throw that in, could become that piece kind of that makes everything right. And that's the most fun, I think, in my process, where I really can create that, give that to the actor, to really help them. Because really, when they come out of my room, they have to feel 100% the character. When they walk on the set, feel 100%. If something is itching them, or I talk them into something they don't like, I didn't do my job. I need to give them to the director in the perfect package.
Like ready to go.
Whatever it is. Could be tattered clothes, and could be, homeless clothes, whatever it is. It has to be glamour, but it is what it needs to be as the character. And
you need to dress them up like a Barbie doll and go, here you go.
But not necessarily Barbie doll, what I mean?
I know.
Whatever that essence is. And sometimes it, it takes a minute, and I've been so lucky that to do these kind of journeys, even Clueless, when you have 3 girls, and Alicia Silverstone has 60 changes, weddings, she had like 40 changes. I've never been kissed, I haven't counted, but probably close to 60 or something. That was pretty intense. So it's an intense process. When you have that much to do, that much to tell, and you can't miss a beat. You have to know when and how, and what's the color story, what's the emotional place, what's the outdoor space, what's the indoor space, how does it play, who are the players in the room, what are they wearing. It was interesting on Santa Clarita Diet, I had to always set her look, and she was so busy with, in every scene. And I'm like, Drew, I need you for a fitting. I need to know what you're wearing because I have to buy 8 of it and then set everybody else around you. I can't dress anybody before I know what you're wearing and what color you're wearing.
Wow.
But it was fun, I mean, she's like, we did the big bold earrings, which she now kind of continued to wear on her show. Their diet. It was fun. She'll be the one who's like, something laying in the corner. She's like, oh, what's that? That's cool. I like these glasses or whatever. Like, it's really uninhibited. Maybe there's something about her that's very uninhibited and open.
Oh, that makes sense. Definitely.
And I think that more and more she's more who she is growing up to be as a woman. I think it's more open, her heart. I think her heart is maybe more open. That's what it is. It's like she's softer, doesn't have to be so guarded, and I think it shows. If she does another film, I think it will show. I think there's a lot of change, beautiful change in her.
Oh.
Yeah, no kidding.
Can we go to The Wedding Singer? And that's when you guys first met, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you feel that sort of collaborative energy right away with her?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm super fun in the fittings, and I have fun personality. So it was, I always create a fun room and fun environment. And I think when she entered that space, she knew that it was a playful time to have. And it was an interesting character. We had to kind of, look at her. Who is she? And, I in one of your questions, you said, that maybe we wanted to go somewhat masculine on her. Maybe there were conversation about it, but I think, she had to be kind of the heart of the film.
Yeah, well, she definitely is.
Even if it was not, maybe even if it was not obvious in the beginning, because she kind of chooses this guy, but you always knew that, she's this really sensitive person, and how she gravitated to the Adam Sandler character and what was love about, I mean, it's such a charming film, I mean, I think that I miss the 90s kind of love rom-coms, comedies, because there was innocence to it, and I think that's what we brought with her character and her look. It was kind of the old granny dresses, the boots, she wore the boots, little cardigans.
She's got such cute style.
Oh, it's so everything you're saying, I'm like visualizing them all, love them all.
And it couldn't be fussy. She was not a fussy person. I think she had to work and she had to be the waitress, and she really didn't spend time on her. More interested in people and stuff.
She has definitely said that about that character, that she's just easy. So that totally tracks. That makes a lot of sense. That you would want her clothes to be that way.
Effortless. And you know how it is when we wear dresses. We love wearing dresses as girls. It's just fun, I love your necklace, which reminds me a little bit of the necklace that Drew wear.
That's why I bought it. Yeah, that's I've had this for years, probably 20 years or something. And right before this, I was like, I need a necklace. How about the one that is like Julia's? Perfect. I'm so glad that you noticed it. Like,
it's beautiful right away.
It's very interesting to me that that's something she wears throughout the whole film. And I think sometimes that's unusual, right? That you reuse a piece throughout. So. And there's also, I just have to mention, I love her denim jacket with like the butterfly patches that shows up a couple times. Was that just something you guys felt because she was such an easygoing, simple character, that she wouldn't have a bunch of changes?
Exactly. And I really feel like that sometimes, unless the film calls for it, like Clueless or Never Been Kissed, I think it's good to repeat. I mean, I wear so many things that are my things.
Yeah. Go-tos.
Or the purse. It's not like we're always changing everything. And I think that brought her to be more authentic.
Definitely.
That was really important, to me and her as well. It's like, sometimes I even want to repeat the dresses, but in the movies you kind of have to, enchant the audience with more fashion, because unless somebody is very depressed and that they wouldn't change the clothes. But I think that was very intentional. The jacket, the necklace, also the boots. She always wore the same boots. I don't even know if she had any jewelry. I don't think anything else really. She was a simple girl, didn't have a lot of money. We all remember when we were starting out, and I remember, in the 80s, I was thrift store shopping constantly, wearing, 40s jackets. And now it's hard to find the cool stuff anymore. It's like the 80s.
I know.
The 90s, they're like, come on, that's not even vintage.
I know. The
I
80s,
know.
90s, like that was just the other day.
Like, this is not old. What do you mean? One other thing I'm curious about, like with The Wedding Singer. So obviously you had already done Clueless. So you had like, established yourself. But do you remember like how you landed the job at The Wedding Singer?
I mean, I interviewed with Frank Karachi, the director, so they must have found me,
Okay.
I think.
So you were kind of maybe sought out
I think
of your work.
I think so. And Adam Sandler does the comedy. It was a great fit.
Yeah.
And I've worked with Frank Karachi on a couple of films, and we're about to do another one once the strike is up.
Very cool.
That's so funny. We were just saying when we do, because he's been very friendly with us as well online. And I was like, when we do our Wedding Singer episode, we got to reach out and see if he'll talk to us.
Got to. He's fabulous, and he'll have so many stories.
Oh, I bet.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great fit, and it was great to meet Adam too. I've done several movies for him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was nice, and it just started these relationships with for so many years, and that's what's so wonderful. I mean, that's kind of how the business works in a way, when you really find these connections, kind of creative connections. It's nice to have that because it's like a shorthand, I mean,
absolutely. You already know, like you said, you can trust this person, right? Like she brought you back knowing she could trust you. And
director or
yes, whoever it is, what person like knows the person they want to bring in for something and can vouch for them, right? I'm just going to kind of move on a little bit to Never Been Kissed, because relatedly, was the decision to hire you for Never Been Kissed partially Drew's decision because you had worked on Never Been Kissed?
She wrote me a beautiful letter on a beautiful stationery with a blue sky, and then she put a pressed Daisy in the letter. Somewhere in my
oh my god,
Mona, that's like the type of thing we live for, these details.
Yeah, and if you ever want to share anything with us, by the way, we would be like thrilled. But that's amazing.
Some good sketches I can find, and
we love that.
Oh, I love that she wrote you a letter. That feels so her.
Yeah, we just did an episode about her and Adam Sandler, and she wrote him a letter when they wanted to do 50 First Dates, and she like did it on her typewriter and hand delivered it.
So cute.
Yeah, that's very her. It's very thoughtful. Yeah, so it was a beautiful. I was super happy because it was their first film for Flower Films, and I was super happy to be part of it. To kind of start the girl's journey, Nancy Giovanni and her. It was amazing to support that. Yeah, and it was such a great script. I mean, it was such a fabulous script. I really, from the costume standpoint, was just such a fun journey to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, just and with her, because it was just, I knew that we can just go crazy and have fun. I mean, like I said, from the crazy little culottes in the beginning and the sad look to the crazy dress I designed when she eats the brownie, and and
Anne likes that dress.
I do like that dress.
Yeah, we did an episode on Never Been Kissed, and she's like, I just really like that dress.
I'd wear it.
What came over me, but I designed it. We made it for Drew. It just, I don't know, it just seems super fun, and
it works for like that point in the movie. She's just like, what's cool? What's
what am I wearing to the club?
Yeah, she's got like the white go-go boots on at that point. Like, it's so good.
And I mean, I don't remember, but that could have been even Drew. There were probably like 20 pair of shoes, and she probably was like, I want the white boots,
Well, we talked to Kim Green, makeup artist Kim Green, last year, and she told us for Never Been Kissed, it was like you, her, Drew, and Barbara Olvera, and you guys just like, let's sit down and figure this all out.
We had to. I mean, this was like make it or break it. If we didn't, we're in complete cahoots of every little moment, it just would not work. I mean, the hair had to go, and there was just so many different transformations, to all the way to the end, from kind of the dowdy to the crazy to, then being more and more kind of true to herself and sophisticated to the end, really becoming herself,
Yep. Did you have a particular outfit that you loved kind of helping her put together, whether it's one of like the kind of goofier, misguided ones, or do you have a
misguided guns were so much fun. I mean, it was like the boa, I mean, that lemon purse too.
Oh,
Like,
that purse is iconic.
I will bring everything to the fitting. You know, I'm like, okay, let's play. And then I'll see what they gravitate to, what actors kind of gravitate to, you know, and we try different things. And it's like, I mean, I love those moments, you know.
That should have been, I guess it was so fun. I had to guess, like walking into that room with just
know,
a bunch of kooky stuff.
And it's like, you know, $5.99, you know.
That's
yeah.
It's not just, you know, it or like the culottes in the beginning. I love them. I mean, that whole horrible kind of mauve pink color was just awful, but perfect.
Well, and Kim was telling us hilarious stuff about like she wanted to do really like bad stuff with the makeup, and they're like, that's a little too far. Like, like she wanted to make her whole face like the different color than her neck. It's just like, this is good. And I know Drew wanted to play, like when she talked about it, she's just like, I wanted to get as ugly as I needed to get to be Josie Grossi. And then
I mean, Josie Grossi in the outfit, in the pink dress, it doesn't get kind of worse than that. That was, again, that dress was crazy. It was just like the most hideous thing we could make, and she loved it. And you know, I made it out of that specific material so we could wipe off the eggs.
Ah, okay, Mona, I don't know if you know this, but I have one of the dresses. Why didn't I get it? Let me go grab it real quick. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
yeah, so she got it from.
I'll know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll let Ashley ask the questions about it, but it's something she got like online through an auction like maybe 10 years ago. And it's one of the prize pieces in our museum. It's because it's just such an iconic piece. Here we go.
Oh my
goodness. My headphones on. I don't even remember what auction I got this from. It even has the egg. And I don't know how many you made, but
I think like 3 or 4 probably.
Okay.
I'm sure, you know, like, wow.
Yeah, it's really crazy to see in person.
So good. It's so good.
It's funny. It's a lot lighter than it appears in the movie. Like it's kind of got more of a like hot pink color in the movie, but you know, lighting and all that. But
yeah. Wow.
The sleeves are just gigantic. You can't really tell in the bag, but
I mean, it's so fun to make this stuff. Like, you know, you draw a picture and then you have everybody approve it, and not till you have it on the actor, you're like, and then yes, the braces and then the hair. It was like, okay, Drew, go, Drew.
Once again, though, iconic. And I think that dress is something that like really makes it, because it's like that shiny, like it's just so
and it's still being, I mean, they did a recreation of it just for the MTV Movie Awards. It's like everybody knows that look.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that way, you know. It's like the Romeo and Michelle. Yes, and the, you know,
I think it's more than luck. I think it's skill.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's all very intuitive for me. It's all very intuitive. It's like I said, you know, the one thing is the page, and one thing is, you know, bringing all the pieces together, but it's really the play. It's really that moment of figuring the pieces and what is the emotional thing that's going to bring the right to the character, you know. And that's, to me, is fun. And I'm very open and fluid, you know. I kind of have an idea and then I know what I want, but I let it kind of formulate itself. And I think that's kind of the skill too, that, you know, maybe a lot of people are more too tight about it, or they want it a certain way or whatever. And I think that, you know, you do have to rein things in, you know, like with hair and makeup, you can't get crazy and then everything is crazy. And you know, it has to be to a point authentic and relatable where people believe it, you know, because otherwise you're not interested. You know, you don't want to watch this character. And I think a lot of movies nowadays are like this. You kind of don't get into the essence of the person like we did in the 90s, you know, like how kind of beloved the characters became because you knew them, you know.
Yeah.
Who she is. I felt that like that too. I mean, even in Clueless, you know, it was so easy to make the girls snooty models, rich girls walking around, but you know, they were I had to translate the fashion into the characters of the high school girls, so they were real, same with Drew. It's like, who is she? She's this, never been kissed. She's this kind of older girl working in a newspaper, but then, she finds her youthfulness and her heart. And, how do you kind of manage all of that to really reveal itself slowly in a fun way, of course.
Yeah. I think that fun part of it is sort of the hyper real, so there's like the real and then there's the hyper real. And then when you have these like extremely bright colors and things like that pop off the screen, it's sort of like there's an interest while also like telling you something about the character. So there's like this hyper real thing, I think, maybe,
which is kind of in that movie, I think, was very juvenile, so it kind of became like, she was trying to dumb herself down to the high schoolers.
Yep.
But talking about It's So Funny and Never Been Kissed, I want to post something on my Instagram because I remember the Barbies?
Oh, yeah.
I just used to see the Barbie. I'm like, I need to post this.
You're like, I see Barbie at times 3.
Can help me. I'm trying to find a photo of the Barbies online and I can't find it.
Oh, we could probably help you. I'm sure we have something like that in our files. We have so much stuff you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, please, because everything is like pixelated. I mean, it's just not quality enough. So, and I just want to, because I just loved it. I loved the Barbie film, and I was like, you know what, I did my Barbies too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just saw it and I definitely thought of you. Like, I feel like your influence was in there for sure. Yeah.
It was such a good film. I was like so blown away.
Outfits that Cher wore, like there was an white eyelid top.
And then I saw Margot Robbie wore like a Clueless inspired outfit on the press tour. I'm sure you got tagged in that. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So it's good. I mean, you know what? It's flattering. It's kind of, Clueless. It's something that it's referenced to as as a fashion.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm super proud of that I was able to create something that lived for generations. I mean,
oh yeah. My daughter, she's 13 and she loved it.
Where are you? Are you in LA or which?
I'm in Las Vegas. That's where I live. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a baby too. That's my baby's prince. In case that's not my 13-year-olds, but
we should stay in touch because I'm starting to do like art camps and stuff like this for girls. I just did it.
Oh, how cool.
9-year-olds.
That would be awesome.
So I'm thinking about going online as well. So just keep in touch because
oh, she would love. She's very artistic, so she would love that.
And then we could do some fun stuff. The girls were like hand sewing and stitching, and then we made scrunchies and things, and we did fashion shows. So it was really fun.
Amazing.
Really, I want to teach and give back. Kind of that's my next, round of things to do.
Yeah.
It's so sweet to, inspire the young girls and have them. I don't know. It's so important, I think, nowadays to get away from the phones and do something with your
something tangible
and delightful, and something where you get lost for hours. I mean, they were here, 4 or 5 hours a day, and they would just nonstop and would play Taylor Swift, and they would go home just like full of life and like what happened. They did
because it's like expressing themselves all day. That's lovely.
And we did this most beautiful. Maybe send Natalie one of your numbers and I'll send you a picture because we did this most cool. We repurposed their mom's jeans into dresses.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
All the way here, the jeans with the zipper here with the straps, and then we made she wanted to have the sleeves from bandanas, and the other girl we made like a high-waisted skirt, and from her toddler brother onesie we made a top, so it was like really fun, and it's again repurposing.
So creative. Yeah.
So stay in touch.
Okay.
That is very cool.
Monomaze tool for creativity.
Oh my God, I love it.
That is so cool. Okay, so can we ask you a few more questions,
Yes.
Mona?
Yes.
Okay, so jumping into Santa Clarita Diet a little bit. So you mentioned that, of course, that was your kind of reuniting with Drew after all those years. How fun was it to reunite for Santa Clarita Diet after so many years?
It was amazing because we both kind of grew up a little bit, we both were a little older, and I mean, she now had the kids, so we were ladies. I mean, not older, but we were not the teen kind of running around the Hollywood girls, so it was really fun to see each other and kind of be like, wow, how you've been, what's been going on in your life, and maybe a little more mature in a way. And I really loved that she was a producer on this show, and she chose this kind of a very weird show, which was cool. And jumped into it head straight in.
Of course.
She was ready for it, I think. It's like,
yeah.
And I was really grateful to be there for her, because it was kind of an important moment for her in her life. I think she had the kids, she hasn't worked for a while. How do you get back on your kind of creative feet? And I was able to kind of be there right with her, and that meant a lot. That I was called.
I remember being excited when we saw your name was involved. It's like, yes, like anytime she works with people again, it's always just like a good feeling, like, oh, we know that's going to be like a little family reunion or something.
And I think that it's nice when you bring the talent that is going to work with you so closely and kind of intimately and listen to you. And it's about the confidence, giving someone confidence, and I was able to give her the confidence, in the fitting room and in the process of finding the character too, and then kind of going from the different seasons too, which was interesting, what was happening to the character. And having the kids there, and Chris was there, and the dogs were there, baby dogs in my room all the time, and
the whole family was there.
Lots of laughs, in her trailer, and it's a very family moment, when you are with her. I mean, she's very inclusive of everybody. It's just kind of, to everyone. I mean, even the PA girls and the very sharing, and there was always some kind of a coffee truck or really fun things to eat at the end of the week. And we were working in Santa Clarita, which is like 115, and it was an easy location for anybody. It was a drive too for most people, because it's a little bit outside of LA. So I think she appreciated and showed the appreciations to everybody, which is nice. I mean, you don't have to do it.
We did hear, I met somebody who was like, oh yeah, then she brought a sushi truck one day. Like someone that worked on the set was like, she was so generous.
Yeah. We hear it all the time, actually.
Yeah, and I'm like, yep, that sounds like Drew.
It's like the same stories. Like, yep, consistent.
Yep.
Anne and I were chatting before we talked to you about how Sheila sort of goes through an evolution with her confidence and her comfort the way that Josie does. Was that something you and Drew kind of like noticed?
Oh, we planned it.
Okay.
Yeah, we absolutely planned it. I mean, that's why, it was interesting when we did the first fitting, I flew to New York and with like 11 giant duffel bags of clothes. And, we want to make sure that it wasn't cool right away, so it was important that she kind of, the stuff was kind of ill-fitting. The skirt was a little too long, the shoes were just kind of like, a stewardess pump, and no fancy jewelry or anything. I think her hair wasn't really, again, working with the hair and makeup people, making sure that everything kind of, matches and progresses together. And then I think when everything starts happening and it's that moment for her, it's like, I feel good,
Yeah. And she looks good.
I want to buy better clothes and better car. And that's when we were able to kind of, from that kind of a lower point, to bring it up, and as she got stronger, the clothes became a little bit more fitting and well-fitting. There was more color, and there was more high-end designer stuff. And
it's sort of, I just had a realization, and maybe this is like, I don't know, Drew as a person was also like, you kind of said, she was kind of like easing her way back into like working. So it's sort of like herself too, like Drew and Sheila both gained this confidence. I mean, I think she kind of talked about that she was like inspired by Sheila.
Very.
Like
I think so. I think it was, to a point. I mean, we were really spending some good money in the third season. It was fun. I mean, we got some great shoes and great boots, and Louboutin, and like I said, Alexander McQueen suits and beautiful things, and vintage belts and beautiful jewelry. She loves all kinds of vintage stuff, like Southwestern, and beautiful turquoise stuff and bracelets and things. And sometimes we couldn't do it if it was a double. I'm like, Drew, we can't do it. We need a double. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna pick it up and give it to the stunt girl. I'm like, oh my god! And I have to clean it with a toothbrush, the blood.
We have noticed, by the way, that she seems to still wear some of the the high black boots that she got. Yeah. Yes. For Sheila. And whenever she wears them, it's like Sheila boots. They're so
they're so you notice them right away.
That's not the first time we've seen her wear boots that were from a set too. She had some Charlie's Angels.
Yeah,
boots,
from Charlie's Angels ones. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That she wore for years. Because I'm sure they were made
her
for
feel
her.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Comfortable, and I'm sure I haven't been to her new house in New York. I mean, she sold the house in LA, but she used to have this giant closet with all the, here's the sweatpants and all the stuff she wears, and then you have the whole designer section.
Oh my god, how fun.
She loves to play, as you've been saying, even if she is that real she has her feet on the ground, she's down to earth, but then she still likes to do the real fun play with fashion. So you've been able to.
She can glam up well.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's an understatement.
I love that she's always stays very feminine, no matter what. I mean, even in her masculine style, she's always very feminine. The hair is always very feminine. There's jewelry, and there's always the lipstick, and I think it's important. I think for girls out there who love her, and for the audience, especially of the show, it's good to see it. We need to see it. We need to see the playfulness. There's a lot of hard shit going on in this world.
No kidding.
All of us, and I think we need that breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And to inspire the girls. That's what I try to do in my work. I really, really, it's my goal when I do, my projects, to inspire, to have fun, to, open up that little part of you that's this little girl, and can have fun. And that's why I think I love working with the young girls, too, because it's so playful. It's so kind of it's optimistic. It's free. There's no pretension in any of that. And I think that's what's so beautiful. I think if we can bring more of that into life and to all of us, and I think she's one of those girls that does that, and that will always be charming. And I think that's why I'll always love her forever. And, even if I'm 80, whatever, and if she calls me, I'll still be like, all right, Drew, let's do it.
I love that. What a beautiful way to put it.
Right, all right, Drew, we can get it together for you.
I'm a little crickety, but hey, I'm wearing my cool glasses.
You'll still look cool. I am sure of it.
I can guarantee. I can picture it. Maybe your hair will be white, but you'll still have the pizzazz.
Dark cloud or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Lipstick is a must. Always a good.
Yes.
So.
Oh, Mona, we really appreciate your time. We don't want to take up any more. Is there any other stories about Drew that you want to share, or just experiences or memories?
Just good memories, really, really good memories from the beginning till, the last job we did. Is just really beautiful times, and just a lot of laughs. And, it's like being tickled by someone, when you just happy when you see them, and, they're happy when they see you. And I'm just really, really glad that everything is so wonderful for her. Just really, I think she's just such a great mom, and she loves her girls, and it's a beautiful thing to have family for her. And that makes me really happy. I mean, the costume journeys are a whole another thing, which is great, but I think as a human, that's even more important. And it's been delightful to be with you, ladies, and stay in touch anytime. And I think Never Been Kissed anniversary may be coming up or something. I don't know, but
yeah, actually it came out the year I graduated high school, so we got 1.5 years to go, and not even less than that. Yeah, it'll be next year. We'll be the big 25.
So let's plan something.
Wow.
Yeah. Be in touch with Natalie, because we do have some sketches and things like that.
Okay, that'd be wonderful. We would love it. And we'll, of course, tell everybody to follow you on Instagram at It's Mona May. We'll have a link in the episode page too. It's a treasure trove. It's a great account to follow.
Thank you, ladies. All the best.
Thank you so much, Mona. We really appreciate it.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.